Want to create stunning AI images and be able to have consistency between all of them that you generate? Well, in today's video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how you can do that using this n8n workflow and a platform called Replicate, which is hosting Flux Kontext, so that we only need to pay for what we actually use. And all you need to do is send a Telegram message in, like you can see on the left-hand side here, describe the change or the update that you want to be made, and boom, it's going to come straight back to you in the chat. So whether you're using this for yourself or sending this to clients, it will be able to help you get those outputs nice and easily every single time. I built this entire workflow using n8n and Flux Kontext through Replicate with no code at all. But first, let's jump into a quick demo to see exactly how it works. So all we need to do is come across to Telegram on the left-hand side. We're then going to come through and upload a file, which in this case is going to be this individual here. We'll open this up. We're then going to put a caption in here. So for example, please make the hair bright neon blue. And we now want her to be in a winter skiing setting. We'll be able to execute the workflow. We're then going to send this off. It's going to upload our image into the chat, which is going to trigger our Telegram messenger in the n8n workflow. So what's it doing? Well, we've got our Telegram trigger that's running in the background now and has captured that request. We're now using ChatGPT to describe the image that we've got, so we understand the context for generating that image later on. We're then going through and writing a prompt so that we can actually get that out from Flux a bit later on, which looks really good. And we've given it a title, so we can come through and store it in Google Drive nice and easily. We're then going through and storing it temporarily in imgb, just so that we can then send it off to Flux using Replicate, which is nice and cheap. It's only 8p per image. We're then getting the image, storing it in Google Drive, and sending it back in Telegram. And as you can see here, we got that response back incredibly quickly. And if I come across to Google Drive, as we can see here, we've now got we got the input image here from this individual, which was from Unsplash. And then we've got the output image here as well. So having that really great consistent output that we can use across lots and lots of different settings. And if we saw a little bit earlier, we can go to blonde hair at the beach or pink hair in a winter setting as well, still keeping that consistency with the lady that we put through using Unsplash images. And you can get access to this totally for free by coming across to our community link below, come into the classroom. We're then going to come down to where we've got our AI image generation. Definitely check out our masterclass on AI image generation if you want to take this to the next level. We'll come into here, you'll see that we've got Flux Kontext Max. You come down here, we've got all the different requests we're going to be using today, all the different curls as well, so it's nice and easy to get loaded up. But if you just want to use the blueprints, download either the one with a timer or without the timer, which is a JSON file. Come across to a new workflow in n8n, do import from file, will come up with the blueprint. You just want to upload that in here and it will all be ready to go for you. All you need to do is change the API keys. But let's go through and build this together today. So we're going to start off by getting rid of all of these different parts so that we can go from scratch together today. So why is Flux Kontext getting so much attention at the moment? Well, the key reason is it's able to understand the context of that image. So I've got a couple examples here. For example, we sent this request off and asked it to add a top hat to the lizard. So now it's kept that original image and just added a top hat over the top. We're also shared, for example, here, this looks like maybe a helicopter and they're flying over some countryside. But what we said is please change it to be flying over Mars, and it kept the original image but just changed the outside of the cockpit to be completely tailored to Mars. If we come down here as well, just another quick example where we can take this individual with her hair and we can say instead of being brown hair, please change it to be blonde, and it's able to go off and do that and give us the response back. And that's why this image generator is so powerful. We're keeping that consistency between different images. So first things first, let's go through and delete all of these so we can build it out together. There we go. So we're going to start off with Telegram. This is how we're going to get our request coming through. We're going to use on a message. We're going to need to add our agent or our bot in here. So you want to come through and create a new credential, and we're going to need to add the access token. Now, to find your access token, come across to Telegram. You want to search for bot and then father, as you can see here. What we want to do is generate a new bot. So you'll find some settings like you can see here. If you're doing this for the first time, click on new bot. We're going to need to come down and give it a name. So we can do Flux image to image and then demo. We can copy this, send it off. And then what we need to do is underscore bot at the end. We'll send this request off and it's going to generate it for us. You'll see that this access token will be generated. You need to copy this, come across, paste into here, and do save. This is going to connect this specific chat with our n8n workflow. You then want to click on where you've got the conversation in here, and it will open it up for you, and you press start, and now we've got that chat ready to go with our n8n connection. We're going to close this down. What we're looking for is triggered on a message. We're also going to add a field in here, which is download images/files, and we're going to turn this on. So if we want to give this a test, come through and attach an image. We use the flamingo one again in here. So we could say, please turn this flamingo purple instead of pink. We can actually execute the step here. So it's going to listen. And then what we can do is send this off. And what it should do is capture that response coming back and the data. The one that you saw before is just it capturing that start message that came through. That's why we ran it twice. So now if I open this up, as we can see here, we've got that flamingo coming through. So we're going to come out of here, change to schema. As we can see here, we've now got some key details to use. So we've got the chat ID, but more importantly down the bottom, we've got the caption, which is going to be our prompt or instruction in this use case for what we want to change. We're going to add this in here. We're then going to come through and add an OpenAI module in here. And what we're looking for is where we analyze an image, as you can see here. Now, what you're going to have to do in here is add the ChatGPT 4.0 image in here. We're going to change it from image URL to binary file. And you need to make sure that data here matches data here, so it knows what it's pulling across. We're then also going to change this to expression and open it up. And this is where we're going to guide our AI model on what it's looking for to extract. Now, to enter our prompt, we're going to come across to the community, come down to here where we've got it all ready to go. What we've done is given it some really clear guidance on how to analyze the image. So for example, if we come down here, we've said a really good input and output, so what good looks like. We've said what it's looking for, i.e. mood, emotion, artistic style, people, characters, any objects, elements, setting, environment, and much more. We're going to do execute steps. So now what it will be able to do is analyze that image for us and give us an instruction out the back or guide us on what that image looks like for our description later on. Now that we've got that back, as we can see here, quite a long description, we can use this to improve that prompt from the request. Great. So the next part is we need to generate our prompt for that AI image generator, Flux Kontext. And to do this, we're going to use a basic LLM chain. The reason for this is if I come out of here, we've now got the option to go all through these different ones that we've got, i.e. we can use a local, completely free AI model with Olama, or we can use the latest Grok 4 model. Definitely let me know your comments and thoughts on that below. Or we can use the simple OpenAI ChatGPT 4.1 mini, so we keep that cost nice and cheap. We're also going to need to come back in here because we're going to need to make a few changes. We're going to say we need a specific output, and we're going to be defining below for that input message. We'll open this up. We're going to put across the user and then prompt, i.e. the instruction the user is giving us. We're going to come into Telegram, right down the bottom and see where it says caption, and then we can pull that across. We're then going to close this down, open up our basic ChatGPT response, and we're going to say image description, because then we can pull this across from the left-hand side, and it will give our AI agent context on A, what the user wants out the back of it, but also what the scene currently looks like, so we know how to improve that prompt to get the output we want. What I love about n8n as well is we can see on the right hand side there exactly what's going to be passed across, so that we can actually do some troubleshooting if we ever had an issue. If you're enjoying the video, please make sure to subscribe. We've got lots of videos coming in this space around n8n, AI, automation, and much more. Now we need to come down and add a prompt in here. We want system and message. I'm going to change this to expression and open it up. We're then going to come back across to all of our resources, come down to where we've got the prompt section in our AI image generator, and we're going to copy all of this. Now this may look like a really, really long prompt, and it is, but the reason for that is because we're giving it lots of guidance on how we want it to be outputted. So for example, what we want as the main subject, the setting, background, composition, lighting, artistic style, mood, color palette, and much more as well. We're then going to come out of here, and what we need to do is one last step, which is add our output parser. We're going to do a JSON format because this makes it nice and structured for the output that we want. And in this use case, what we're looking for is a title for this request and the actual instruction that we're going to be passing across. So now if we add this in here and do save, we'll be able to do execute step. And what it will do is it will take the description from our AI image analyzer and the instruction we've got from the user and generate an output for us. So for example, here we've got the title as change flamingo color to purple, and we've got a longer prompt that we can use for a little bit later on. Now we're going to go through and store that image. So I'm going to be using Google and then Drive in this use case. We're going to need to add an create a folder first. If you've not added your actual connector before, you need to come through and create a new credential. You need to add these details in here. In the link below, I'll include this OAuth service documentation from n8n. It's really good at explaining how to do it, and they've got a video ready to go as well. I'll also include the links below in the community in case you need to find them in the future. We're going to come out of here though, as we've already got our account set up. This is so that we can create a unique folder for all of the requests we're putting through. We're going to add our request title into that folder name. We're also going to need to store it in one location. Now I've already got one generated called requests. So we're going to find that by coming down here, searching request. And then what we need to do is choose the right one, which I believe is this one. Yep. So we'll come back across and we'll choose that in there. So now it will generate a title called change flamingo color to purple. So if I do execute step, what we should see is if I come back across and refresh, we've now got a new one at the top here, which is all good to go. We're going to come back out of here. We're then going to need a merge module, because the issue that we've got to upload that file is we don't have the binary file on the left-hand side yet. We're going to change it to combine and then all possible options. We're going to come back to where we've got our Telegram trigger and put it across here. So now what you'll see is on the left-hand side, we've got no binary outputs ready to go. So if I do execute step, what we'll do is we'll now update it. So we've got that image back for us to use, and we've got the schema, i.e. all of the points from before, so we can use that as well. Now I can go through and do Google and then Drive again, and we're looking for upload a file. Now we're going to put across where we've got data, and we need to make sure that it matches the data in here. We're going to update here, so it's now an expression, and we've got input, and then we're going to put across where we've got the actual title, which is going to be that change name from Flamingo. You can either use this one, or come back to where we've got the output from the basic LLM chain and add it in there. Now that we've got the title sorted, we're going to come down and change the folder location, because we needed to use the ID from the one that we created a little bit earlier on. So now if I do execute step and we come into the change flamingo, what we should see is it goes from no files in here to having one file uploaded any minute. So there we go, it's now all uploaded, so we've got it stored for the future. Again, you don't always have to include this step. It's just helpful if you're trying to do it again in the future. Now we're going to come out of here and do save. So the next part is going to be us storing it in another repository temporarily, which is imgb, which is completely free to use. and you're going to get access to this API key here. Again, you can upgrade if you want to, but this is temporary storage so that we can get a URL and use it a bit later on. Then we're going to come down into here, and what we need to do is a binary file. So we're looking for extract from file and then move file to base 64 string. Again, make sure data matches data here. And what it will do is it will go from a binary file to lots of text. So there we go. Next, we're going to need a HTTP request module, and we're going to need to import our curl. We've got it ready to go in the community. So all you need to do is copy this and then import the curl in here. This is so it's going to have the updates ready to go. Or if you're looking for it yourself, come across the API documentation and you'll see it here ready to go as well. But let's come back across. Now we're going to need to make a few updates in here. So we're going to need to change our API key. So if you come back across, we'll come up to the top, copy our API key here, back across to the workflow, and then paste in here so we're able to use it from now on. What you'll also see here is we've got an expiration, so it's going to delete after a little while, so it's that temporary storage. You can upgrade if you want it stored for a longer period of time. We'll change this to expression, so now it's going to put across this data here and store it for us. We're going to just update this to store image, and then we can do execute step, and what it will do is temporarily store it and give us a lot of information back for us to use. Now, to generate the image, we're going to be using Replicate, which is a great platform to only pay for what you use. We're going to do explore and then image modules. As you can see here, they got lots and lots of different ones that you're able to use. All of them have different costs associated with them. So for example, where we've got Flux Schnell, that's really cheap to use. You're looking at, for example, $3 per 1,000 images. But in today's video, we're using Flux Kontext Max, and this is only going to cost us 8 cents per image. There's lots of details here, and you can run it through the platform itself, or you can run with an API this way, and it's going to give you all the details. If you come across to HTTP, you just need to make some updates. You can copy this curl request here, or we've got it updated in the community just for those inputs updated as well. We're going to come back across, add another HTTP module, and then what we're going to do is import that curl that we've just copied, and we've got it ready to go. So now if I come down the bottom and do expression, we can open this up and make a few changes in a minute. We're going to need to add our API key. So we're going to come back across to replicate. We're going to come down to where we've got API tokens, and I've already created one, so we're going to use that. All you need to do is create a new token. And again, we're only going to be billed on what we use. So now if you come back across, you can paste your API key in there after where it's got bearer. If we come down the bottom, we're going to need to update the JSON request. So our prompt that we're sending off is going to be that updated one from the basic LLM. So we're going to get rid of all of this and pull that across. We've then got our image URL, which is what we've just got back from imgb, and is this one here is the one that we're using. So now if I come out of here and do execute step, it's going to go off and generate that image for us and bring it back to us with an output URL, and it's going to be a PNG file, as we can see here, or it looks like it's going to be JPEG this time, so that we can download it using this. All we need to do is another HTTP request module, put across where we've got that output, execute the step, and it will download it for us. So now as we can see here, we've got that purple flamingo versus the pink one that we had at the start, which is great. Still got that context around what it looks like and the overall setting of the scene. We'll come out of here and do save. Now to return this image back into Telegram, what we're going to use is first a Google and then Drive update, because we're going to upload this file. So we're going to do upload a file. We're going to come across to schema. We're going to do file name as out and then put. We're going to change this to be an expression. And then what we're going to do is come back to where we had our basic LLM chain and put across that request title. So now we know it's the output file for this request. We're going to change the parent folder. So instead of root, it's going to be that one that we created a little bit earlier on. So now if I come across, you see we've got no output file at the moment, but if I come back across and execute the step, what it's going to do is upload that file for us into Google Drive. And if I just refresh this, as you can see here, it's now all uploaded. So we've got that new version as well as the old version stored for future use. If we come back across, what we'll then be able to do is send it in Telegram. So we can come and pull down here. The reason we're doing this is because if we try and do it after here, there's no binary file for us to use, i.e. if I do Telegram and then send a message, send a photo message, you see it's not a binary file here. Whereas if I delete the connector that it's got at the moment and pull down from our get image request, we'll see we've now got a binary file that we're able to send across. We're going to turn on binary file here, and again, make sure data here matches data there. We'll change back to schema, close this down. We need the chat ID, which is from our Telegram trigger. Come down to where it's got chat ID and put across. What we can also do is add a field down here, and we can do reply to message ID. So now if we pull this across, what it's going to do is automatically tag it to this specific request that we sent across. We can also come down and add a caption. So we can say your image is now generated. We can add a smiley face, and we can do execute step. So now it's going to come back into our chat and it's replied back to our actual specific image. That's a really quick video just to get you set up on Flux Kontext and being able to generate images straight away using Telegram. Make sure to come and check out all of the resources in our community for free. And if you want to take your AI image generation to the next level, make sure to check out our AI image generation Masterclass, which has lots of resources ready to go and is going to walk you through exactly how to get the best outputs possible. Stay tuned for more around AI agents, automation, and have a great day.